Hi friends, it's Belinda here, and in this video I'm adding a zipper to a knitted garment, or a knitted project. This project is my Stadium Sit-Upon bag, and I'm going to zipper the top of it closed. But the concept will be the same to add a zipper to a garment, to a cardigan. So you want to start with a zipper about the size of the edge you want the zipper attached to. And the color of the zipper should look good with your project. And the fabric should be wet blocked first, because if it's going to grow or shrink, you want that to happen before your zipper is installed. You need a sharp needle to get through the zipper, to pierce the zipper with. A sewing thread that matches your zipper and your yarn. And I cut my thread to about arm's width length and got my daughter to thread it for me because I can't very well see that tiny little hole. And I'm going to use some T-pins to attach the zipper and hold it in place to where I want it seamed. So I'll just line it up where I want it to be, and I want the knitted part on the outside of a zipper, and it'll be lined up just to the edge of the teeth with enough space there so that the teeth are not going to catch the fabric as you unzip. So I will pin it in place all along that edge. Of course, making sure that I'm putting my zipper right side up, so that the zipper head will be on the outside of the piece. It's certainly worth taking the time to make sure that's lined up well, even if I have to use umpteen million pins. I will tell you, working around my tripod is slowing me down, and I'm probably wiggling the camera. I apologize for that. I'm going to go off camera and finish pinning this. Okay, one side is pinned out. I'm going to sew that side first before I pin the other side, but I have confirmed that it is going to fit in there nicely. So let's stitch this edge first. Our starting stitch, we want to make sure the knot is going to be on the inside of the material. And for the outside stitches that you will see, I'm going to make sure I follow them straight up the row of knit stitches. So I'm looking at the front of the fabric as I sew to make sure I am doing it neatly. And I'm just hand stitching it all the way, one stitch at a time. I'm removing the pins as I go. And another thing, by following that one row of stitches all the way up, I can be sure that I am catching that cross thread between each one, so it will stay secure. And as I come past the teeth, I have to make sure that I am not pulling them too close to the teeth. We don't want the yarn in the way of the zipper. which stitch was I in? Oh, I'm still back here. So, just like that, all the way up the side. I am snugging up each stitch as I go, but not too snug, not to pull and distort the fabric. I'm checking every now and again to make sure that it is smooth. I'm not stretching the knitted fabric. I'm just smoothly attaching it. Note that I'm going up and down through each and every stitch. It really helps with the tension and with keeping it lying flat. So when I've reached the end of the last stitch, we're going to do our knot on the wrong side. And I lucked out. I had just enough thread guesstimated to do my whole edge. But if you were running out before you reach the end of your seam, pause while you still got a few inches of thread left on the needle, do your knot, thread a new piece of thread, and start where you left off. So I just knotted by coming through to the wrong side, picking up, making a little extra stitch on that wrong side, pulling it through, pulling your needle through that loop that's created to snug it down to knot it. And I'll do that 3 times. Making sure I'm not really going all the way through to the front of the fabric with my needle. I'm just making that knot on the zipper. Like that. And cut my thread. Sometimes I tend to try and break it, but then I might accidentally fray it if I do that. So cut. Boop. Now we're going to pin out the other side. And I do it with the zipper closed to make sure it's all going to line up straight. But as we pin it, we need to, again, make sure we're leaving enough room for the teeth to function. So, start at the lower edge and line it up and start pinning. And keep the yarn away from the teeth. Now I've got the other edge of the zipper all pinned out. I've unzippered it to make sure it functions, and so that I can get my hand on the inside of it as I sew. So I need to now go get my daughter to thread my other needle, thread my next stack of thread on my needle for me. And I will do this side the same way I did the first side. Well, I couldn't find her, so instead I found a needle with a bigger eye. So let's see if I can do it myself with my needle threading tool. So poke that through the eye. Yeah, I did that first try. Isn't that something? With my old eyes. And then I put the thread down through that loop. Boop. Pull the needle onto the thread. Boom. Don't need the sound effects, do we? And then I like to do my thread double when I'm sewing. So I pull it all the way through to my ends meet. Knot them together. And I'll show you how I do that. I lick my finger. And then I wrap it around my finger twice. And then I roll it off so it all twists around itself. Pull it snug to the end. And there's my knot. That wasn't the neatest knot. Sometimes they come out better than that. I'm going to break that off and try it again. Actually, one twist might be enough. One wrap around the finger. Twist it. Grab it with my fingernail and snug it down to a knot. at the end. Smooth it out. And I'm ready to start my sewing. And as I go, I'll move the zipper up and down as whatever helps me to get into it. And follow the same method as the other side. Again, my tripod's in my way. And so's this needle, this pin. Okay. And then I'll do this side the same as I did the other side, putting the knot on the interior of the project. And going up and down every stitch along one straight row all the way across. Okay, the preliminary stitches are done. The zipper is in place and it functions. But I'm going to do more stitching around it now. I'm going to stitch another row around just at the edge of the zipper to hold that down, flat down in place. Keeps it smoother, less likely to snag, and yeah, smoother and more secure. So I will thread another bunch of thread on my needle and start at this corner and stitch that outer edge down. Now in this case, that edge lines up with this horizontal row of stitches just below my I-cord bind off. And I could do the same thing, bringing the needle in and out of each and every stitch, but I found a faster way to do this type of edge. I'm going to pick up the head of each stitch from the back side, that row of purl bumps there, and just stitch across it. Following that row of purl bumps and keeping it smooth. And I'm moving along much faster this way. And here you have it, nice and smooth. I know you can see my stitches on the inside, but that's the inside. It's just because the color doesn't exactly match. And I know a perfectionist sewer would have made those straighter, but I'm very happy with it. It all lies smooth. Sorry for bumping. Zipper functions very well. No snagging. And there we go. Thanks for watching.